Hello friends, Graham here, XFO Audio. This is take 2. This is not a professional video, this is merely an informational video, so please hold your high expectations for the hair and makeup department for another video. But I wanted to talk to you today about MCI tape machines. Specifically, Stephen King, probably not the Stephen that we're all thinking of, says his MCI JH10 8-track was working, but he had a phase lock loop board in his spares box that he wanted to test. He put it in, and the machine started working awry. He said nothing worked. He put the old phase lock loop board back in, and that's when the left-hand motor started to spin. Lights on the control panel, like start, stop, fast forward, rewind, and play, all came on. If you pressed them, none of them worked. If anyone can help me resolve this issue, I will be very grateful. I think I can help you resolve this issue because I had a similar issue, and Steven Sadler helped me resolve it with my JH16. I don't know for certain that a JH10 has an identical deck power supply. I assume it's a little bit different, but hopefully this will work for you. What we're talking about are your 2N3055 pass transistors that are, there's 4 of them inside your deck supply, and when one of them blows, one reel will spin like mad, all the lights come on, none of the controls work. It's very odd. It seems like there's a poltergeist. But first, let's talk about how to test this. This is the base, the emitter, and then the case is the collector. And so we can test this diode by putting the red lead of your multimeter on the base, the black lead on the collector, and your meter should read about 1/2 volt. And then there's one other reading that we're going to look for, which is base to collector. And so you should also get about 1/2 volt there. If you swap the black and the red on the base and the emitter, you should get nothing. And if you swap the black and the red on the base and the collector, you should also get nothing. And so these are the diode tests that you can do on a TO3 pass transistor that passes 39 volts. It just switches on, and if it's blown, it's blown. If it's not blown, don't replace it. So Steven Sadler used to say, what's the first rule of MCI Club? Cleanliness is next to audioliness. That one doesn't apply here, but he would also say always test. He always discouraged the shotgunning approach of like replacing all of the red sockets. And similarly, pulling every board and reflowing each Molex pin is an at-your-peril job. It's a great job to do, and there's no real reason to not do it, but it's not a great way to diagnose because you'll never really know if that was the problem. You know, anyways, I'm getting past myself, but that's just a cautionary tale about shotgunning versus testing. Steven Sadler would say always test. First thing I'll do is I'll unplug this AC cable to this AC fan. These are 4 quarter-turn screws that hold this hatch in place. And if MCI went to great trouble to make this panel so easy to remove, it really is easy despite how hard I'm making it look. This is quite heavy, and you need to be careful with all these harnesses as you pull it out. You can leave everything plugged in and just set it on the table. Let's find our best angle here so you can see the board. That's better. You can see these 4 large heat sinks that are dissipating the heat from your 4 2N3055Hs. You don't need to remove these heat sinks to test, though you could. You can remove these 4 screws and they'll slide right out. But you can just see which color cable is plugged into which lead on your 3055Hs, and then you can do your test just by plugging your multimeter, by back probing it into this harness. So refreshing my memory here, it looks like green is base and white is the emitter. So we're looking for our 1/2 volt from base to emitter. There it is. And then we're also looking for our 1/2 volt. Just swap the sides of the black lead, base to collector. Come on, base to collector. 1/2 volt, 0.6, close enough. So this pass transistor is working. You can swap all those leads to verify you have overloads in the other directions, but I know that this is a working. And so test all 4. If one of them is bad, replace it. If it's not bad, don't replace it. These 4 resistor fuses will also blow when you blow a 2N3055H. So check to make sure that these resistors measure and test good. You may have to pull a leg to properly measure. I can't remember or not. But I did have those blow when my transistors blew. Notice I didn't ever have to replace my red socket. I've never replaced a single red socket on my machine, and I've never traced a problem to one. Not that my machine is completely loaded with them like some are, so not to discount that. Trying to keep this video short, but I want to give you a cautionary tale about buying parts online that are not from reputable dealers. You have to buy your parts from known reputable dealers. Do not put anything from eBay, Amazon, anything like that into your machine. I can, with almost 100% certainty, guarantee you that it's a counterfeit part, and it will blow up in your machine. And it could take other stuff with it, and we don't want that. So only the best for our vintage MCI machines. Mauser, DigiKey, Newark, you get the idea. For pass transistors, I hope that solves your problem, Mr. Stephen King. And I hope that helps some other MCI folks as well. I'm really thankful to Steven Sadler for his help. And of course, Randy Blevins taught me more about calibrating my machine than Steven ever could. So those two together are truly the yin-yang of MCI knowledge and history. So we still have Randy. Thanks, Randy. Stick around. Stay healthy. We love you. And other than that, MCI community, peace out.